You check your bank account. Again. Nothing changed. You still work 40 hours a week. You still pay every bill on time. So why does it feel like you're going backward? What if the reason isn't your paycheck? It's something almost nobody checks. Right now, millions of Americans are working harder than ever and still feel broke. Rent is up. Groceries are up. Gas is up. But paychecks? Barely moved. So everyone blames the economy. Inflation. Bad luck. And sure, that's part of it. But here's what almost nobody talks about: the actual reason your money disappears has very little to do with how much you earn. It has to do with something hiding in plain sight. In your bank statement. Every single month. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to look at your money completely differently. Meet someone we'll call Sarah. 34. Works in healthcare administration, makes $58,000 a year. Not rich. Not poor. Just normal. Every month, Sarah pays her rent, her car payment, her phone bill, groceries. She doesn't buy fancy coffee every day. She doesn't take vacations. And yet, by day 25 of every single month, her account is nearly empty. She used to think, I just need to make more money. So she picked up a second job on weekends. But here's where it gets worse. Even with the extra income, the money still vanished. Just faster. That's when Sarah realized something was deeply wrong. Not with her effort. With her system. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people believe more income equals less stress. But here's the part nobody talks about: as income goes up, spending quietly rises to match it. Almost every time. Psychologists call this lifestyle creep. You don't even notice it happening. A slightly nicer apartment. A slightly newer car. A few extra subscriptions. None of it feels reckless. Each choice feels small. Reasonable. Deserved even. But add them up, and your raise disappeared before it ever touched your savings. That sounds smart, until you see what happens next. Here's where most people get trapped. The average American doesn't lose money in one big mistake. They lose it in dozens of tiny, invisible ones. Subscriptions they forgot about. Delivery fees. Just this once purchases that happen 4 times a week. Individually? Harmless. Monthly? A second rent payment, disappearing into nothing. Sarah pulled her bank statement and actually read it, line by line, for the first time in years. She found $340 a month in charges she didn't even remember agreeing to. Not because she's careless. Because the system is built that way. Subscriptions are designed to be invisible. Apps are designed to make spending frictionless. One tap, no thought required. This isn't a willpower problem. It's a design problem. And that's the part that changes everything. Here's the twist. Sarah thought her problem was not having enough money. But the real problem was never a lack of income. It was a lack of visibility. She was financially blind. Money came in, money left, and she never actually saw where it went. Once she could actually see her money, really see it, everything changed. Not because she suddenly earned more. Because she finally understood where every dollar was going. If you're still watching, this next part changes everything. So here's what Sarah actually did. A simple 30-day reset. No extreme budgeting. No giving up your life. Days 1 to 5, the audit. She reviewed every transaction from the past 60 days. Every single one. Not to feel guilty, just to see clearly. Day 6 to 10, the cut. She cancelled every subscription she hadn't used in 30 days. On average, people find $100 to $300 a month here alone. Days 11 to 20, the redirect. Every dollar she used to lose to invisible spending got redirected automatically into a separate savings account. Out of sight, so it couldn't quietly disappear again. Days 21 to 27, the buffer. She built a small $500 emergency cushion. Not to get rich. Just so one unexpected expense wouldn't wreck her whole month. Days 28 to 30, the system. She automated it. Bills, savings, and spending limits, all running in the background, so she never had to rely on willpower again. But that's not even the most important part. This isn't about restriction. It's about removing the guesswork. Financial stress doesn't usually come from how much you earn. It comes from uncertainty. Not knowing if you're okay. Not knowing where the money went. Not knowing if next month will be different. The moment Sarah could actually see her money clearly, the anxiety dropped, even before her bank balance grew. That's the part almost nobody explains. Clarity feels like relief, long before it becomes real money. You don't need a bigger paycheck to feel less stressed about money. You need to see what's actually happening with the money you already have. So today, just do 2 things. 1. Pull up your last 30 days of transactions and actually read them. 2. Cancel just one thing you forgot you were paying for. That's it. That's the start. Because the goal was never to be rich. It was to finally feel in control. Sometimes the money isn't missing. You just haven't seen where it's hiding.